So welcome to episode 11.
Yes, and we are going to talk today about being a mum,
Yes.
really, and just how we want to be open and honest,
Yeah.
don't we, about
Yeah.
it, because I think some people, on Instagram and TikTok,
Oh, the reality.
the beige mums, my fence looks like it's about to fall down in the wind. It literally, there's a massive gap. So, yeah, to start with, I suppose we'll say how many kids we have.
Okay.
I have one child, she's 6, and then I'm pregnant with my second.
Little princess.
Another little princess, which I'm very excited about.
So I've got 5. I've got 3 girls and 2 boys.
Crazy. How old are they?
Seren's 8, Amelia's 5, Blake's 4, and my twins 3.
Do you feel like you've got to do mental maths?
Yeah, and then when I'm out walking as well, I go, hang on a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Your life to me is like, because I've just got one. Well, not so much now because Ella's like amazing, isn't she?
Yeah,
she's very well behaved.
She's amazing, yeah.
But to have so many so young, it's like, to me, that's
Do you know what the hard part for me was when the twins were babies, and I had Blake, who was 10 months, and then I had Amelia, who's just turning 2. That was fucking exhausting. Now I love it, because I've done the hard bit. But the reality is, the baby stage is so boring. Yeah, it is so boring, and people don't talk about, like, oh my god, they slept, and what are you going to do with a sleeping baby? Like, because my kids are like older now, they're out of nappies, they're like trying to kill me. I like it. I like that. I like this age. I mean, I loved them obviously as babies, but
they're all like running around together and like entertaining each other, aren't they?
Each other, I mean, they're scrapping as well, but
of course.
But they all siblings fine.
Yeah. Well, I fostered for about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
And I had one little boy for about 10 months. And
he's lovely.
Similar age to my daughter, and so that was my kind of first experience of having 2.
Yeah.
And the transition from 1 to 2 was quite difficult.
Mm.
But once you get into that routine and you know what you're doing, it is so nice, because like what you said, they scrap, entertain each other.
They do, but that's what they do.
Yeah,
nice. And now the hard bit, when I needed the support, I didn't get it, but I've done it. So they're all now going to school now, so I can. It's like
you can see your life coming back.
Yeah, you do get your gradually. And I know, like, people say, when you're a mum, like, you shouldn't forget yourselves, but I generally didn't have a choice, because I didn't have they didn't have a very good dad, so I had to be, well, they don't now, but mum and dad, do you know what I mean? So it was hard to not lose myself when all I was doing was, I had to prioritize the kids,
Yeah. Definitely. So, I think, like, when I had, because you brought up baby stage, I had really bad postnatal depression with Ella, because I was going through, my ex had left me and everything while I was pregnant, so there was a big, like, thing going on.
Shit time, didn't you?
Yeah, and I think that kind of, and the birth was just traumatic pain wise. I was not, I mean, I was expecting pain, obviously,
but when
but
not that much
Jesus
pain.
Christ.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to die. I said to my mum, I can't do it anymore. She was like, you're going to have to.
Yeah, but that's when you're ready to do it. She's just about to come, when you say, I can't do this anymore. Yeah. And I did that, and I said that, and my one midwife, she was like really old school, like she'd been doing it for like 60 odd, she's old, and she said, every time you say that to me, I know the babies are coming. And I had her with Amelia and Blake, and she was like, come on, Bet, we've done this for a time, you can do it again.
Wow, okay.
And she was really, really, really cool. And she said, as soon as a mum says, I can't do this anymore, you know that the baby's coming within the next 5-10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But I think the baby stage is definitely, like, for me, because I was the first one of my family to have a baby, like cousins and people that we were close to. My brother's younger than me, he doesn't have kids, so none of my friends had kids apart from you. You had Saren. But I literally, it was just such a shock. And now whenever I know someone or one of Matt's friends has a baby, I'm always checking in, like, are you okay? Because but I checked in with one of his girlfriends the other day, saying, how is it? Because she's got a 4-month-old. Yeah. And she was like, oh, every day is different. It is tough, but I'm really enjoying it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's good then. Because I did not enjoy it.
And but when the twins were born, I had postnatal depression, and I didn't get diagnosed until a year after they were born.
Oh, really?
Because I wouldn't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Because I was with their dad. I won't say his name, but you know who it is. And I was told to literally suck it up. So when you are constantly told to suck it up, like, and the thing that he used to say to me was, you went through foster care and you were fine. You can deal. Do you know you're made to feel inadequate and how you're feeling. Yeah. So I didn't tell anyone, and then I knew Steph. I'd had Steph, the health visitor, through Amelia, Blake, and the twins, and I just said to her, "This is how I used to feel," and she was like, "That's postnatal depression. Why didn't you tell me? I could have got you like help." Yeah. Obviously now I've got a counsellor from like my trauma from childhood, and like even I talk about postnatal with the twins. Yeah. And it's, you feel so guilty because you wanted them children. Yeah. You grew them, you had them, and now you feel, that's what I felt like. Yeah. I'm shit mum because I definitely felt that, like, I didn't want to say anything at the start. Yeah. Because I thought postnatal depression was like when you want to jump off a bridge with your baby. Yeah. So I didn't want to tell anyone because they would think I'd want to harm her, but I didn't. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. Yeah, it's just the most awful thing I think you can go through because you love the child so much. But at the same time, like, I remember literally sitting there one night and she was only like a few days old, and I was just staring at her in the car while I was just sat on my bed, just like, what have I done? Like, literally, what have I done? Yeah. I'm here on my own. Everyone had left, and I was just like, shit. Yeah. It's like, it's horrible. I think the nights were the worst for me. He would go out and he would literally leave on a Friday and come back on like late Sunday. Yeah. So I was on, and he wouldn't tell me. He would just go. If we'd had an argument, he would make that an excuse to go and do what he wanted to do. And I remember the twins had their like 8-week IMS, you know, their jabs. Oh yeah. And Finley like just was so hot, and he just wouldn't settle Jode. And my friend Jess came round. She was like, "Don't worry, I'm here." I went in the toilet and I just cried, like, you know, when you really hard. Yeah. Cry. And I don't cry, you know, I don't cry. Yeah. But I cried so hard, and I was just like, the next day I got up and was like, I've just got to get on with it. This is a choice I've made. Don't worry about him. And literally a week after I left, like, see you later. I would never have gone back. But, you know, I was so, and now I am doing it on my own because he obviously thinks I'm that much of a good mum. He lets me do it by myself. But it's true, isn't it? I don't even worry now about his like his interaction. I don't care about that now because I've done so much of it on my own. Yeah. His influence on me as a parent is nothing. Yeah, you've gone through that hard stage now, and it gets easier from now, in my experience anyway. Yeah. I know a lot of people get emotional when their kids start school, but for me, I did. I was like, no, I was like kicking her out the door, like, woo! Let's go. Yeah. Even like the other day, Blake got his place at Great Malvern School. Yeah, I don't care to go. He's gonna go nick my kid, and they came through at like 6:30 in the morning, and I just cried in the shower. And Blake was like, "Are you okay, Mum?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Is it because I'm going to school?" I was like, "Oh no, it's like because I want to make it exciting for him. Yeah. I didn't want to be selfish and be like, oh, this is about me. I'm because he'd probably go, why is she nervous? Yeah. But it is. Listen, even if you're not a single mum, it's still hard. It doesn't matter if you're in a happy marriage, like you are. Being a parent is just hard. Yeah. And people just don't talk about it because they're like, oh, someone's going to ring fucking social because I'm telling you now, they'll last 2 minutes in my eyes. Yeah, so. Definitely. I mean, it's like, I'm definitely more sort of, so when I had my daughter, I was only dating my now husband. So he would come over obviously to see me, or we'd go out, but he wasn't staying at mine every night. I was a single mum for a while until he obviously moved in. Yeah. So now I do feel like this is going to be much different because it's settled from the beginning. And you know, as your best mate, I'm so happy that you'll experience that. Yeah. Because I never got that. Oh, no, but for you to go through it, because obviously I was there when you were a single mum, and we came around with Sarah, and I saw you struggling, and you know, we talked, and now you've got Matt, who was like a knight in shining armor, isn't he? Yeah. And you won't experience that with your next baby. I know obviously you've been ill and it's so fucking natural to feel like that, but it's so nice to watch it. Yeah. You know, especially with the video with Ella, because also I knew Ella since she was a baby, so it's nice for. Oh my God. You know, it's gonna be. I'm so happy for you. And you did get your forever, happy ever after, didn't you?
Definitely. But I think that what the next topic could be is mum guilt, because I've started to feel like, am I gonna, because I had postnatal depression with Ella, am I gonna feel when this baby's here that I'm giving her more love and more attention than what I gave to Ella?
I get what you mean. Yeah.
I need to remind myself that Ella's fine, obviously, but I think I will.
I did. From Seren to Amelia to Blake, I felt, especially with Blake and Amelia, because they were so close.
Yeah.
Really close. I felt really, really bad on Amelia. So like this summer holidays, I'm taking the girls to go and get their nails done, and like Nanny's gonna have the boys, do you know? So I can still like they'll go. Obviously, my routine of my kids, they're all in bed by 6, but I always say to Amelia, like, everyone's asleep, so I can have that hour.
Them, feel
just
special
me and her.
And
yeah.
I think mum guilt though, you get that. I remember my mum saying to me, like, that's something you will just always have. Even like now, she gets it now. Because if I say, oh, do you want to come over Friday night? She's like, well, we'll have to see what Aaron's doing. So obviously, I need to make sure I see Aaron this weekend as well. So even now, I'm like 30, 25. She's still trying to spread her time.
Oh, definitely.
Godspeed to you, because you'll have fun. You'll have to be like, everyone will just have to come to mine.
To my house. We'll have to meet somewhere.
I think, and if you're a stay-at-home mum, if you're a working mum, like I've known what it's like to be a stay-at-home mum for 2 years and to be working mum. They are both just as hard, let me tell you, but just for different reasons. I genuinely believe that. Do
you know what? People just don't talk about how hard it is being a stay-at-home mum.
No, they don't.
They don't. Like it's and this is like for the baby daddies, really. They're like, well, you just stay at home, and I'm like, do you just think I sit down and watch like Housewives? Do you know what I mean?
It's so frustrating.
Like, my kid, you've seen how demanding my kids are. They're like, mum. How much one shout at me now? But it's really hard. I'm very rarely sat. Well, you saw I was very rarely sat down. I was up and down like a fucking yo-yo.
Yeah, I think unless you've done it, like I was so looking forward to maternity leave. I was like, oh, what a dream! Like 9 months off work. Can you hear that dog? You hear that dog in the back? I was just so looking forward to it, and then obviously postnatal depression, and I was like, oh shit, this is actually not the holiday.
I don't think people prepare you enough for, because no one actually said to me, oh well, you might get postnatal depression. Like, I didn't know what that was.
Yeah,
you have a clue. I just thought, oh, I'm just exhausted.
Yeah,
and that was it. But
and you get a bit of baby blues anyway, don't you? All your hormones coming down and all this. But I definitely think that stay at home. So what I found different with stay at home, what am I saying? I was going to say with stay at home mumming. That's not what I wanted to say. When I was a stay at home mum, it was hard because you're always in the house. You're obviously going to the shops or you're taking the kids to the park or whatever, but that is your base, and you kind of feel like you're stuck there, especially as I didn't drive, so you probably feel like you know what that feels like. And then Matt would come home and he'd just smell of the outside world, and I'd just be like, I just wish that I was you. And it is really, really difficult, and you're just non-stop. Whereas working is difficult because you're getting up early, you're going to work, you're obviously working throughout the day, coming home, still having to do like dinner and all of that kind of thing. But I do think working, I'm just going to say, it's better. It's easier because definitely. you have do something for you. You get to have a break. You get to leave the house. That's just in my opinion. I find that, and I've got a nice balance now. I work about 2 or 3 days a week, and that's quite nice. Because I still feel like I'm at home a lot.
You're at home enough now, aren't you?
Still kind of.
But what was the next thing?
I've just written down like how we first took to motherhood. I mean, I've already talked about mine. I didn't take to it very well.
I tell you what Rich said to me when we divorced, and he said this to the judge, and I'll never forget it. It always stuck with me. But because I was a foster kid, and he wasn't saying anything nasty, he wasn't slagging me off at all, but he said she became obsessed with Seren to the point where I was irrelevant in her life, and I felt like that's what I did. Definitely with my first. Because when I had my kids late. I had Seren at 29. So when obviously we got married, and then we had Seren, and before we had Seren, we were going out on dates, and we were going out on pits, and we were going here and everywhere. And when Seren came, it's like something in me clicked, and I was like, she needs this, I need to do this. And Yeah, he
That's
came...
understandable though, because if you obviously didn't, I won't talk about your personal circumstance because you can say what you kind of want to say, but like if you've not had a good experience growing up with your like parents and you've been in foster care, that's obviously you're going to be like that because you're not going to want to do.
And this is what I said to him, like I was fostered and I was so consumed on making sure that she never felt how I felt. That's all I fucking focused on. And you know what, when he said that to me, he said, and I'm not saying anything bad, but that's how it felt being married to you. Like I was cut off completely. And I felt really bad. Well, obviously now I don't because I cheated, but you know, before when you said that, I felt that did hit. And I didn't do it with Damien. I don't give a shit. I didn't do it with Damien. He gave me no choice but to do it because he was never there. And he was never a hands-on dad. So my focus had to be the kids. And I'm not coming on here slagging off my ex. I said it to his face, you know, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh,
well, it's just, you know, it's honest.
This is what being a mum is, though. But like when people used to say to me, "Oh, you know, be really careful about who you have kids with," I was like, oh. And now I'm like, yeah, no shit. I'm 36 and I'm a single mum of 4 now, or 5, you know. But well, you know, Seren's. I'm not a single mum with Seren.
I think at the time it's like you don't. Oh yeah, I'm pregnant and whatever. I'll work it out, but you don't. That person's going to be in your life. I mean, sometimes my ex isn't.
Well, I'm open my book. After you go to Scotland, mate.
have a nice holiday. And stay there. Oh god. So let's talk pregnancy then. You've obviously you are an expert at pregnancy.
An expert,
How did you? I mean, did you find your pregnancies were all really different or kind of the same?
I hated being pregnant every single time I was pregnant.
Same.
And no one says it. It's not that I hate my kids, and I know I'm lucky enough to be pregnant. I know there's women out there that can't have babies, and that I honestly feel so bad when I say it, but I fucking hated being pregnant.
And it's
there's oh my god, like I can what fucking glow. I looked like a homeless person when I was with the twins. No, if I'd had the twins first, I wouldn't have had any more.
I feel like that with this one. And with Ella, I think I was like 22 when I fell pregnant and then 23 when I had her. And it was absolutely fine. I was still doing like 12.5-hour shifts at the nursing home. And it was
I know you were with me.
I was absolutely fine. But this one, I think it's hit me even more because I wasn't expecting it. I thought, oh, well, pregnancy, I'm good with pregnancy. If it was fine before, I'll have a nice one this time. I just feel, I look back to Christmas Eve when I found out last year. And how naive I was, all happy.
Oh my god, I got the voice notes. Oh my god, I'm pregnant.
And then I literally like a month later, shit.
But it's like with Seren, I had a really good healthy pregnancy. Rich was actually really supportive when I was pregnant. With Amelia, that's when the trauma started with her dad. We weren't together. I lost so much weight. You couldn't even tell I was pregnant.
Oh really?
I was so small.
I didn't really see you.
No, I was tiny with Amelia because of the amount of stress that him and his ex-partner were putting me through. But we weren't even together, me and Damien. But so that I mean, I actually didn't mind being pregnant with Amelia then. Because I kept myself out of sight, out of mind. And it wasn't until I obviously got induced with her that he. And do you know what? And no one talks about this, but I didn't want him at the birth because I had done the whole pregnancy by myself. And to me, I felt like he doesn't deserve that. I've done all the hard work. But then I didn't want Amelia to grow up and be like, why wasn't dad at my... I didn't want to be
That's a hard decision.
And I did, and I thought I was the bigger person when letting him come. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And he was actually really good. He was really good in, well, he didn't have a choice because I was on the gas and air swearing at him.
Absolutely no choice there.
So, but with Amelia, I think it was really good timing because I just kept myself away from it all. Blake, more, Amelia is when the cheating started, but Blake, he cheated again. And the worst thing was when I literally, Blake was fresh out of the womb. He took a picture of Blake and sent it to his ex-partner.
Lovely.
Yeah, but I didn't find that out until like 4 months after. Well, no, like a couple of weeks after Blake was born. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
That is absolutely mad.
Yeah.
I guess it's like pregnancy, like with Seren. So that was your third. Did you say about that?
Yeah.
You did, and that was fine.
I really, well, because Rich was so supportive.
And so what was different about the twins then? Because obviously with a twin pregnancy, that's like high risk, isn't it?
My body hurt.
Did it?
Through the whole fucking pregnancy. And I didn't tell anyone about the twins pregnancy because at 22 weeks, I nearly lost Ivy. Mm-hmm. And do you know what I didn't want, Jode? I didn't want to go, oh, I thought you were pregnant with twins. Where's the other one? Mm-hmm. Because I don't want to have to explain that to anyone. That's that would have been something that I would have had to deal with. And I didn't want to people like saying, oh, where's the other twin? Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would have been, it's like when, why people wait, don't they, to announce.
Because when, obviously, I had an emergency C-section with the twins, because Finley wasn't breathing, I was like, fuck, like, this isn't happening to me. Like, you're just going to panic. And I remember the dad sat there and I'm like, if you don't go and see where my son is, I'll get off this table. And he just was like, you're not. You're not going anywhere. Yeah, you're in half, love. You ain't going anywhere.
Oh, no.
But yeah, it was just, emergency, never would want anyone to go through that. But you've got a planned. It's completely different. Yeah. All my friends that have had planned C-sections have been they've absolutely loved it, Jode.
Yeah.
So I know, like you were saying, but mine was an emergency. That's a lot different. And my scar's like that because I had twins. So it's completely different to what you will experience in your C-section. Yeah. And I know so many fucking people come out of these horror stories about C-sections.
Yeah.
But actually, mine wasn't. The C-section was fine. It was what's happening to my son.
Yeah,
that wasn't fine. That's why I found it traumatic.
Do you think if you hadn't had all the other pregnancies before, that the twin pregnancy would have been easier? Yeah. Do you think it's because you had kids before?
And I had no support. Yeah.
Yeah.
The day I went into labour, Jode, I was shopping in Aldi. I was doing a full shop while he was at home playing on his PlayStation. I mean, I probably should have stopped at like Amelia with him, but Yeah, you can't have any regrets because they're amazing kids. So I will never, ever regret my children.
Yeah.
I will regret who I have them with and how I dealt with certain stuff.
Yeah.
But they are completely innocent.
Yeah.
They are, and my kids. My kids are nuts.
Yeah, but in the best way.
Oh, they're so much fun. Yeah. They are now. And they stress me out because it's normal. I've got 4.
Yeah, you can't not. It would
be
just
stressed. Yeah. Some days I'm like, go back inside in a gangster because the boys. But it is life, and you choose to have children. But in the same breath, it's okay to be stressed about them.
Yeah, I don't get I watch some people doing their YouTube vlogs or whatever. I watch this one girl in particular. She's so lovely, but she gets a lot of hate, and she's always saying like, oh, this has happened. I'm not complaining. I'm just, and I'm like, you do know it's okay to complain.
I will literally complain about my kids every day of the week.
It's okay. It's such
a... It doesn't mean you hate your kids. It means they're fucking hard work. Yeah. Particularly hard work that day.
And that's all right. They can be little shits. They really can. They can't communicate properly. They want what they want. They don't understand why they can't have what they want.
I think the worst time with kids is when they're ill. And when mine get ill, multiple of my children get ill.
Oh yeah, because they're all
there. Yeah. So that's hard. That's what I find really hard because I mean, when they got chicken pox, do you remember that all 3 of them got? Well, Amelia got it first. She was fine she was fine after 2 days, and then the twins and Blake got it, and I was like, oh my life. I literally started to should I have a drink? Should I start drinking again? Because that's what's hard. And if they're in a grouchy mood, like Blake was he just woke up and chose violence yesterday, so I was like, right, just go outside, go and burn it off, go outside. But then he still he was trying to wind everyone up, do you know what I mean? So I just say, okay, then you just go on the step, you just don't have, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's a big thing, is that my next thing on here was, how is being a parent different to how we thought before we had kids? And a big thing for me is just because I would judge people, screaming little kids everywhere, naughty little kids, I would just be like, ew, but now I'm just like, it's so hard God knows what
I'll
you're
have
going
a vodka
through
and coke to that table over there.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I just, well, unfortunately, a lot of mums are in the judgy mum brigade,
Oh,
aren't they?
yeah.
You see them everywhere online.
Yeah.
And it's just like, shut up. Shut up.
I would never do that to my kid, but you're not in that situation, so how do you know?
Yeah, I just think being a mum is just so different. It does rely heavily on like what you've been through in the past, to how you're going to parent that child, how you're feeling that day, all of that stuff. Just don't judge. As long as the kid's healthy and happy, and obviously not being bloody abused or anything, it's fine. I think that's something that I learned. Is that everyone's so different. Like I've got friends who parent completely different to like what I do. Yeah. But we're still good friends. It's just
they're still good parents. They're just different.
Yeah. I look and go, I wouldn't have done that. Or if kids throw a tantrum, you think, oh, I'd do it this way or that way. But that doesn't mean that they're doing it wrong. It just means
when Blake, because it's normally like the boys, when they're like screaming, having a hissy fit, I just leave them. When you calm down, I'll talk to you then. And I would literally give you the whole day if you need to talk about it. But you're not coming at me screaming. Yeah. And like my friend was like, oh, I would like get down on her. Well, that's okay. That works with your kid. It doesn't work with my boys. I've tried it. And it's all about trying new things. Like when Amelia or Ivy's crying, I can go, it's okay, right? Breathe and then talk to me. And then they'll breathe. And then they'll talk. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That doesn't work for the boys. Not every kid is different. And do you know what I love? Like, oh, my kid's like 14 months and still not walking. Well, Blake was 10 months when he walked.
Yeah, they're so different, aren't they?
And the girls were a little bit late after their first birthday. Who cares? Yeah. And who actually cares? If there's nothing physically wrong that a doctor said, oh, this is why they're not walking. Yeah. Why do you give a shit?
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they're less smart because they're not walking yet.
Exactly, it's nothing to do with that at all.
I do think a lot of parents do like compare, don't they?
Do you know what Damien's dad said to me? So when we were in Leinster, they didn't bother with the kids at all, his dad. Yeah. So when I moved to Malvern, that's when they started having a friendship with the kids. And he said to me, and I'll never forget it, he said to me, I always thought that Amelia was a bit dull because she never spoke to me. I thought she was going to be a bit of a weirdo when she grew up. And I was like, okay. And you know what I'm like? I'm really protective as a mum anyway. So I was like, maybe though, it's just because she doesn't know you because you're a stranger and she's been told not to speak to strangers. Yeah. Because that's how I bring my kids up. Yeah. And then he was like, oh yeah, I probably said that a little bit wrong. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I was like,
because I get that sometimes with Ella. Like she's very
quiet.
Yeah, she's very quiet. She's very observant. Like she looks and hears everything. Yeah. But she just she chooses when to speak. And once she's warmed up to you and she knows you, then she's fine. But I did go through a stage where I was like, come on, talk more, do this, speak that. And then I've grown to be like, actually, not everyone's going to be like me and be like loud.
See, Blake and Ivy will speak to anyone. They're just like me. They like a laugh, they'll speak to anyone. Finley and Amelia are a lot more like, they're like Ella, they watch before they, but they've always been like, don't speak to strangers, don't go up to a stranger, don't touch someone else's dog, that's how they've been brought up. So they're not going to be like,
And you get like really precocious children, don't you? Yeah. At that kind of age where they're like, hi, to a stranger, like, come and see this. And did you know? And you're just like, oh my God, like you don't know that person. It's mad. Like I've met friends' kids for the first time sometimes. And I'm just like, oh my God, you don't know me. And you literally, I could bring you home and you would come with me. It's mad. Absolutely mad.
But every kid is different. All my kids are different. Yeah. Serena is, she's very polite, Serena. She's 8 now, so she's very polite. So he was causing a fuss before he even got here. But no, I don't think I would do anything. I always wanted to try and do it with is less pain, because they obviously don't let you out, do they, if you have too much, like your epidural and stuff. But no, I wouldn't do. I think I probably would have relaxed a little bit more with the twins. Yeah. Because I was so stressed.
Now knowing that everything was going to be okay.
And you know what? I would have asked the right people to help me, because there were generally people there that would text me like, oh, do you need me? And I was like, oh no, I'm fine. But because I've always portrayed myself to be, I'm a foster kid, and you know I'm not a fuck up, and I've done so. You know that I think to people see me as this really strong person, but actually people see me as that strong person that actually does need some help sometime, because everyone needs help.
And it doesn't mean that
no,
you're not strong.
And that's what I would have done differently. Yeah.
Okay. I would have just done differently. I think I would have gone to like hypnobirthing or something like that, because I think a lot of the reason why I was so I didn't handle that birth well was because of just what was going through my personal life anyway. I was just so scared, and I didn't feel calm anyway. So I was I was like one of the top 5 fucking screamers in the hospital. I was told by the midwife. I mean, it was really bad.
Do you know what they're like? I can actually,
I was just screaming through the bushes and stuff.
And then when they say to you, don't scream, will you do it then?
Can you do it for me then, please? That they were fine about it. They were like,
ring of fire, you will understand it if you've gone through natural birth.
It was just... But I wish that I would have been a bit more calm, and I would have trusted that my body knew what it was doing a bit more, but I was in a state of panic.
And then you knew what you were doing a little bit more.
Whereas this time, I'm having a C-section this time, so I think that will help me. I'm a little bit nervous, just for the recovery after. But I think this will be nicer for me to go through, although it's, you know, a big surgery. It's like...
But it's major surgery.
But at least I'm going to be relaxed. I'm going to be in a controlled environment.
You've got enough people around you that is going to support you. Like, I'll be there, Matt will be there, your mum, everyone else will be there.
Yeah, definitely.
So you won't have to support you and have to go through the shit that you went through the last time. I honestly think this labour, you know, the C-section, you'll actually find better than you did with Ella.
I'm hoping so.
I honestly think. I think you're in the right headspace as well.
Yeah.
Going into it.
Yeah.
That, you know.
I really do, and because I suffer like quite bad with anxiety and overthinking and that as well. Knowing like what day I'm going in, not have to wait for my waters to break, wondering when it's going to cut. Just all of that will just be so much better for me. So that's what I wish I would have done. Just been a bit more calm.
Yeah. No, but I think I didn't panic with Sarah because I didn't have time. Because
lucky for you.
I literally was walking the dogs.
Yeah.
I was walking the dogs, got home, I was like, ooh, my plug went. Rang the hospital, you need to get in now. I literally walked in, I said I need to push, and then within 42 minutes she was there.
That's amazing.
But because I hadn't stressed in the day, I just carried my day like normal. Yeah. That's why it went so smoothly.
Yeah, that's what I wish I would have had.
Yeah.
And I was just like pushing for so long.
But I'll tell you what,
terrible.
Richard's mum helped me.
Oh really?
Massively. She was like, because she's very chilled anyway.
Yeah.
But she was like, this is what you need to do, like just breathe with me, if you like stop if you need to. Like she was walking like fucking miles with me.
Yeah.
You know, like have water, do you want something to eat? I was like, oh no, I'm not hungry. That's okay, you need to still, you know, she was so, and you know what, even before I went into labour, she was like, this is what I went through, it's not going to be the same, but this is what helped me by staying calm.
Yeah.
And the midwife actually let her be in the birth while I gave birth to Sarah.
Really?
Because she'd been through the whole, like, because Rich was working and stuff, so when I was on maternity leave, she was with me most days.
Oh, nice.
So.
That's cute.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to new mums, if you could give any? Or just like any mums in general?
Just listen. It's going to be fucking hard. That's realistic. But not every day is going to be fucking hard. It's not saying that you could have a really shit week, because you probably could, there is going to be a time where you do have a fucking shit week.
Yeah.
But that week is going to be over, and then it's on to the next week, and then there's going to it's a progression of being a mum.
Yeah.
The newborn stage is shit boring, and when people go, you know, sleep when the baby sleeps, it's not fucking realistic. Not to people that have got other children, or they've got a house, or that, you know, they want to go and do it. That's not fucking realistic. But just take your time on you. If you want a bath, go for a fucking bath. If you want to I just need half an hour egg space. Give the baby to dad or to whoever and say, I just need half an hour on my own.
Yeah.
I never did that with any of my kids, and I wish I'd have been like, I need half an hour. I'm going to walk the dogs. I'll see you later.
I literally was about to. That was going to be. Advice from me, because I mean I wouldn't even, I'd try and have a shower, put Ella in the little bouncer, she'd cry, and I'd just be like, okay, well I'm not having a shower then. What the hell, like you
let her cry.
Like, but I'll be like that this time, like I know I will, because I'm in a different, I've been a mum now for so long. Like, you can sit there and cry, I'm having a shower, and I'll put my music on full blast.
But it's, and do you know what, struggling is okay. It doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're fucking struggling because it's hard.
Yeah, it means that it's not. When new mums say to me they're loving it,
oh my god,
like,
I'm loving it. I'm like,
I don't
how
believe
many
it.
nannies have you got? You've also got a personal chef or a PT somewhere.
Something, surely.
Yeah, it's all right to struggle. It's fine, and talk about it. That's the thing that I never did. Speak about it, because there are so many people out there, you know, that do want to listen to you, that do want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And not every birth's the fucking same. Not every kid's the same.
Yeah.
And if someone judges your kid, just fuck them. I don't care.
Yeah, and don't compare yourself to
other mums
and stuff. You know, like one of my really close friends, she's got a child, and literally as soon as she brought that kid home, she was like hoovering with it attached to her, walking her 3 dogs, but if I was like newborn with Ella, I probably would have been like, I can't even be friends with you because you're triggering me. Whereas now, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Could never be me. Yeah. But you're incredible. Yeah.
Do you know what some people say to me? Oh my god, like, you're a legend. I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, you should have seen me like 2 days ago. And I was like,
yeah, it's not always.
Like, it's not always the fucking same. Yeah, today I've got up, I've got dressed, I've done my hair. And do you know what my counsellor said to me, and I make sure I do it every morning. I get up and I have a shower, because that 5-10 minutes is yours.
Yeah.
The kids can go to sleep, they can chill. They've normally got their iPads, but that 10 minutes, that's yours.
Yeah.
So I stand in the shower and I just get myself ready, and I always get changed.
Yeah.
And this is only me, if I don't get changed and I stay in my pajamas, I do nothing. If I get up, have a shower, and I get dressed, the fucking house
you
is
feel
like...
a lot more... Like you're ready for the day, anything.
You can take on anything. Yeah.
Whereas if you just stay in your pajamas, because I've done that so many times. You're like, oh, I need to go to the shop. Oh no, I'll do something. I'll make something now. Whereas if you're dressed already, easier to go out. Yeah.
That's my only advice. Yeah. And when people go, enjoy it. Well, you're not gonna fucking enjoy it every day, okay? So don't feel shit when you don't enjoy it every day.
Yeah.
Because it's life.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
That's so from a mother of five.
What do you find hardest about being a mum, and what do you find the most rewarding?
The most rewarding, and this is really nice, this actually made me cry. They had a Thanksgiving, and they were learning about Thanksgiving at nursery and school. And the teacher and the preschool teachers asked my kids what they were thankful for, and they said, my mum.
Oh, that's
and I just
so
bawled.
sweet.
I was like, oh my god, like I just bawled. But that's when you know you fucking done it. It doesn't fucking matter how many those days that you've struggled, and those days
you
that
feel
you think,
guilty.
Fuck, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Those are the those snippets when your kids go to school and we're complete. They don't have to say me.
Yeah.
They say my mum. Yeah. That's when you know you're winning.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's.
It doesn't matter what is going. You are fucking winning if your kid comes out with, and it's not obviously going to be the same, but it could be any other. Like Blake came up to me yesterday and went, "Do you know what, Mum? You are beautiful." I was like,
yeah, it means a lot from you.
The hardest part is co-parenting, I find. Really hard.
Yeah.
Because I was fostered, I never ever wanted my kids to have another woman in their life. And unfortunately that's now going to happen with all of my kids.
That's only if actually, going to be involved consistently in that. Yeah. Well, might not happen.
Still pray.
Might not happen. You never know. Yeah, I can imagine. Luckily,
that's tough.
I only have to do that for
I find it because I want to be selfish because I want my kids to themselves, but I know it's good for the kids to have their own parent. Yeah. If they're healthy, obviously, but that's the only thing that I think I
can imagine.
I do really fucking because I want them to myself. They're mine.
And I've got a lot of respect for people that are like that, like Matt's mum and dad. They broke up and it wasn't a good breakup at all, but they've always just been so amicable, and I mean they sat next to each other at the wedding at the top table. There's never any drama. They still message each other if it's about like Matt having a baby. They'll be like, oh, how amazing. And I think that's so incredible because Maria, she didn't have to be like that with him. She could have been like, screw you, And
do you know what? It's really hard to co-parent with someone that's mentally and physically fucking drained you.
Oh, that's if you that's what I'm saying. It's so hard because
it's
you want to be selfish and be like, I'm never speaking to you again. I want to be toxic to you.
But I can't because I have to. But what I find struggle is I can't be toxic, but he's allowed to be. That's where You know, he justifies it.
Just got to put up with it.
Yeah. That's what I struggle with. But I generally have them most of the time anyway, as you know, and I've got a really fucking good routine going. Well, you know, I do with my kids, and someone said to me, "Oh, you know, I feel really bad if I put my kids to bed at 6." Well, I fucking don't, because I've had them all day. I've entertained them all fucking day, and I do. And
you shouldn't feel
I'm always out with my kids. Any given opportunity, I'm always out with the kids. But sometimes, you know, at night at 6 o'clock, I think, fucking thank fuck for that.
Yeah, well, I used to, when I was working, because I was working as a nurse, I had obviously different days in the week where I was off. I'd still send Ella to nursery because I could still, even if it was just for a few hours, just so I could have time to myself. And other people wouldn't do that, but I refuse to feel.
My kids go up to bed at 6 o'clock with their iPads. They have if it's a school night, they have an hour and then they go to sleep. And that's because they're little people. They need to rest their bodies. Because especially Blake, he's like ooh, like all the time. So they do need to rest. Yeah. And I need to rest.
Otherwise, you can't be a good mum.
And since I've done that, my mental health's been 100% better.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the most rewarding thing for me is just when Ella does something really kind, to someone.
She is really kind, isn't she?
And you just kind of, those little moments and you think, oh, it's that relief of I've brought her up to be like good. Yeah, that's really rewarding. And I'd say the hardest part is just having to, I mean, this sounds really obvious because obviously every parent is, but I find it really difficult because I'm quite a free-spirited person. Yeah. I'd like to just spontaneously book a trip and go somewhere. That's really hard for me because it's like, oh, I can't just go and do that because I have a kid. I've got to think about when she's off school and when she's doing that. I find that quite hard because you are quite limited to what you can do.
Definitely, I think that's normal though. I think that's natural.
Everyone would go through that. How have you changed since becoming a mum from what you were before?
Although I'm not calm, I am a lot calmer now.
God, I was imagine if I met you before.
Oh, I was fucking nuts before I had kids. But I am I think I'm a lot more, I don't lose my shit as much now. I think, hang on a minute, no, he fucking feels like that because I've said this or because he can't do that. You know, I'm more thoughtful, I think, now than I was before. Like, obviously, because their dad got away with fucking everything, I'm more inclined to be like, I'm pissed. Yeah. And I'm really fucking pissed, but he's still my kid's dad and I need to correct myself on how I respond now. That's how I am now. When I was in a relationship, it was completely different. But now I'm away from the trauma, I'm a lot more, how is this going to affect the kids? If I say this, or if I do this, or if I shout at him, or how is it going to affect the kids? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I never wanted my kids to grow up having to have counselling for something of a decision that I've made in front of them. That's what I never wanted to do. And that won't happen. No. No, definitely. I think similar to you, I think that I've matured. I remember my mum and dad saying to me, this is going to be the making or breaking of you. They were worried. Because I was wild. Yeah. I was very like I said, I was just doing X, Y, and Z, going away. I went on holiday on my own. I was just like doing whatever. But it has obviously made me, and it has made me more calm, less judgmental of other people. Yeah. I'll let things go a lot more. So maybe that's quite a common thing for people to feel once they become. And there's one thing that my granddad said to me before I had kids: your children will appreciate your presence more than you giving them a present. Because I used to panic at Christmas that, oh my God, they haven't got enough. Actually, have got enough because they've got me. Yeah. And okay, they haven't got I mean, I spend quite a lot of money on, but I don't go to £7,000-8,000 and all that shit. I mean, that's not. I mean, I see all these. They've got the whole living room's full, and that's okay because that's how you do it, and that's fine. There's no judgment. But I physically and financially can't do that, and they don't need that. They don't need it, and then I used to get inside my own head, and then my granddad's words, and then the Thanksgiving thing. I thought, actually, yeah, because not once did they say, "Oh, my bike that she bought me for Christmas." She spent. They won't remember. I heard something like that, and I remember testing it out and being like, "What did you get for Christmas?" Literally 3 months later, and she could not tell me one thing. No, it's amazing, isn't it? But what she could tell me was what the dinner was like, the fun we had dancing to the Christmas songs. So it genuinely... It is, and especially with the crisis going on at the minute here, Just don't worry if you can't buy them fucking iPads or Xbox or whatever that shit, because your kid doesn't need it. Your child needs you. That's it. That's my advice.
What a great way to end it. Perfect. Any other last topics?
No.
Don't have kids. That's my advice.
Run.
Oh no, that would be seriously, because it is so much harder than what I thought. Wait, go travel. Luckily, I did that before having kids. So did you?
Yeah.
Because you won't be doing that.
Do
for
you know
a very
what
long
though?
time.
I think, and this is going to sound really horrible because I don't wish. Anyway, I love my kids, but take your time when you're having kids with someone.
Yeah, don't, because we've both experienced having kids with
way too early.
terrible people. So
So just take your time and enjoy each other before you have kids. Like go on dates, go on holidays, do all that. Because we never did that shit.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't long, and then I got pregnant with Amelia.
Me and Matt were literally talking about this. So obviously, I met Matt when I was pregnant, so we've never. And I was saying how nice it will be when the kids are older and we can go off on cruises, we can go travel the world. Because we've not done it.
Yeah. But just take your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Right then, we'll see you next time.
That's fucking well long.